nobody's seen the glory, the beauty that I'm in right now. And I genuinely would take this over Hawaii 100 times out of 100 times. And every time they would tell me to F off, I'd put a check mark. Do the hard shit, be consistent at it, and just focus on the process, not so much the outcome. Well, it's another doozy of the day in the mountains. It's kind of hard to tell, but we started way back there earlier today. This is a really cool spot. See, there's a lot of sheds here. This is not a shed, actually. This is dead elk, but there's ram skulls, there's sheds. Right behind me is actually a sulfur hot spring. So it kind of stinks in this area, but it's like a mineral lick for animals. So it's kind of sweet. Actually, you can take a look at, on the way up here, we saw about 20 ram, give or take, 20 sheep, give or take, just bathing and drinking out of it. But anyways, I wanted to chat about the third lesson that I learned in the mountains that really apply to business. And the third lesson really is to enjoy the moment, be in the process, not necessarily the outcome, not focusing on the outcome. You know, we got 3 more days left in the hunt right now. We've seen not 100 sheep, or probably 15 or so rams. We had a grizzly bear come through our camp. We've seen elk. We basically camped beside an elk for 2 or 3 nights and saw it almost every day. A beautiful young bull. So yeah, the outcome of getting the sheep is probably unlikely. I mean, we got a couple more hunting spots before we pack it home, but time is not on our side. I feel like it really shows that sometimes we get too stuck in, especially in the sheep hunting world or hunting world period, is, you know, getting our animal. That's what we're out here for. Sure enough, in the business, we're trying to get that big paycheck, trying to make that big money, create that big empire. All of those things are super important. It's what push us out here in the wild to try our hardest and do our best. So I'm not saying that you shouldn't be outcome focused and you shouldn't have goals and you shouldn't be aiming to hit those. But the reality is, you know, you sheep hunt enough, you put in enough miles, you will get one. You know, I have had the blessing to be able to harvest one in the past. But if I just focused on that and not actually, you know, if every single time I came out and it wasn't a success, I probably wouldn't sheep hunt, because the amount of work you've done, like, I don't know if you guys can tell from there, but I'm probably 10 pounds down in 8 days. So it's a ton of work, but enjoying the process, you know, everything I possibly can, like getting to touch these cool animal sheds and skulls or whatever you want to call it. I'm getting to see some of the most beautiful places in the world that most people in my backyard have never seen. You know, it's kind of not to be whatever, and everybody has the right to go and do whatever they want, but it's kind of funny. Almost everybody I know has gone to Hawaii that live where we are, or I'm sure a vast majority of them, but nobody's ever been past Prince George. Like, nobody's seen the glory, the beauty that I'm in right now. And I genuinely would take this over Hawaii 100 times out of 100 times. Like, it is pretty epic, the Northern Rockies, the place that we live, and yet I would say people that live in Vancouver, and this is not offense, it's just reality, 9 of 10 of them have never been up here before. So I'm pretty blessed to just enjoy the process. And it's the same thing when it comes to, I spoke about consistency, doing the hard things, and that's one of the hard things. But, you know, I try to, in everything I did, like I used to have for cold calling, for example, I used to have an F-off board. And those of you that know me know I used to have that board in my office, and every time that I would cold call them, they would tell me to F off, I'd put a check mark. And I took that as a positive thing, because I knew it's a numbers game. The X amount of F offs that I got always resulted in a sale. For me, every F off was closer, one F off closer getting a paycheck. And the reality is, over the years, it's funny, like I've had some pretty decent sized deals close this year, and I'm working on some bigger ones, some of the biggest I've actually done my entire life, which is kind of cool. And these are numbers that I would have never fathomed when I was younger, being able to create from a transaction, basically. But anyways, the reality is I've also cashed some 6-figure checks this year. It's funny, the process is exciting, but once you actually cash that check, it's almost like a little bit depressing, because it's done, it's over with, right? So the outcome isn't really, and we've talked about this before, about the hard shit, about everything else, the outcome isn't really what makes you happy, it's the process. So just, you know, taking that minute to stop, check out the antlers, or do whatever you do. You know, when you're in the gym, far too many times I catch myself, you know, sending out an email or whatever. The reality is those are the times when you could just focus and be in that moment. When you're working, even if it's the boring, mundane, just appreciate that you're plugging. You're one foot in front of the other, like we talked about so many times. And I know all this stuff that I've been saying, these 3 things in the bush that I've learned over the years that apply to business, sounds super fundamental, rudimentary, in other words. They really are the keys to success. I've been, I've said this numerous times. I'm completely honored to have been coached by some of the coolest people. Patrick Bet-David, the Grant Cardone guys, Tom Ferry, Aaron Chua, like the list goes on and on and on. I've been coached and mentored by some rock stars, and really, if you ask them, all of them, those are the fundamentals of success. Do the shit that nobody else wants to do the hard shit, be consistent at it, and just focus on the process, not so much the outcome. That being said, obviously you guys have seen other business videos. I don't do stuff for the sake of just doing it. There's always going to be an outcome or a goal in mind, but the reality is the outcome may not be determined or may not be an exact science. Like you can't say that every single time you're going to go sheep hunting you're going to shoot a sheep. In fact, I could be wrong. I'm sure my Wild Sheep Society buddies can correct me, but I think when they're not guided, it's 5 or 10% of sheep hunts are successful. So anyways, it's gonna be my last video in the mountains because we got a few more days and I want to go hunt that big ass mountain over there. But I'll definitely throw some B-roll footage in here, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Once again, I would love it if you subscribed, liked this, shared this, do whatever you got to do. I really appreciate it. And please comment. I'd like to get to know you. If you are looking at learning more business-related, in-depth related stuff and getting coached, please reach out. My link up top. High Point Academy is something that I'm probably, it's the best way to put this. It's where my passion lies, is helping entrepreneurs. So I'd love to be able to help you. All right, guys. Thanks. Peace.